Hello there. Tonight's shave we're going to be featuring a new brush. This was created for me by Anthony MacKenzie Jr. It's an Ever Ready 100 that he restored the handle in. Lovely handle. I saw this handle and immediately I wanted it because it's longer. If you don't know, Anthony, he takes either vintage handles or some handles that he has that are modern that he has made for him, and he puts together brushes. And this is a 24 millimeter high mountain white. It's an absolutely lovely, lovely brush. And we're going to start with that. The soap tonight's going to be Colloniali Mango Oil, just because I got it here in a 1 cup glass Anchor Hocking, I think it is, bowl. But just because I want a nice, slick, comfortable shave, and I love the mango, and my razor is the 51 The Victor Vintage Square Point 6/8. This brush, what I did with Anthony was just tell Anthony what I wanted in a brush. You know, I wanted a badger at that time, but I wasn't into synthetics. I have since, and you guys have seen it, gotten a synthetic brush from Anthony that's just a wonderful brush, and now I've added synthetics to my den. They are absolutely lovely in their own right, but a badger is just something that I love, badger brushes. But anyway, at the time, that's what I was looking for, was a badger. He does more synthetic. You know, they're more economical. I believe he has a couple of different types of badger knots that he can use. If I'm speaking, Anthony, if you see this video, correct me. But I believe he does. But they cost a bit more. They're still not going to be a really expensive brush, I don't think, compared to a lot of other badger brushes. But at the time, that's what I was looking for, was badger. And he said, hey, I've got a 24 millimeter high mountain white. I think this brush was actually, this knot, kind of from what I get, was in like a personal brush of his, or he had done a brush with it and he didn't like the knot. It didn't have enough backbone for him or whatever. And so when I started inquiring about brushes and about badgers, he was like, well, I've got this badger here. I've got a 24 millimeter high mountain white. I can put in that handle, because that's what I did. First thing I did was talk to him about the handle. I was like, dude, I love that handle. You know, can I buy the handle? He said, well, no, normally what I do is put together brushes. I'm not really interested in selling handles. So I said, well, what kind of brushes you got? And he started talking about the synthetics, and I was like, well, I'm really more into badgers. And that's how that came about. But I never had a larger. I like smaller brushes. I like 20 millimeter. That's right around the range of what I like in a knot. But anyway, he said, well, I've got this 24 millimeter, and I was like, well, you know, can you do a specific loft or whatnot? And he was like, yeah, that's not a problem. And I started talking to him a little bit about loft, and I have a 20 millimeter golden nib knot, and I was kind of trying to guess from that knot what kind of loft I would want. And finally, I mentioned a couple of different sizes. He said, well, I think that brush will probably be really floppy at that loft. And so finally what I said was, I just described to him what I wanted. I said I want a brush that has some backbone, but I'm not looking for crazy backbone. I want to not display a bit on my face when I use it, but I don't want it to flop like crazy when it gets wet. And what I got from him, I said, just use your own knowledge and you know, put together a brush with that knot at a loft that you think will give me what I'm asking for. And what he came up with was is absolutely perfect. That's a perfect loft for this. I don't even remember what it was. I think it's 54, but I'm not sure. But it's the perfect loft. It's got the perfect amount of backbone and the perfect amount of splay, and this High Mountain White knot is just soft, but it's nice and dense. So, Anthony, you did an absolutely perfect job on this brush. It's exactly what I was looking for. It's just a beautiful brush, and it works really well. And I have to excuse me, I gotta make sure that I clean my hands off really well, because this Colloniali is like insane slick, which is why I love it and why I chose it tonight. I was talking to Emmanuel Goldstein. He just tried the Ogallala soaps, and he was talking about how crazy slick that soap is to him, and I concur. It's a wonderful soap. For like $5 or $7, something like that. It's really hard to beat that soap for that price from Maggots. Anyway, he was talking about how slick that soap was, and I was like, yeah, the Colloniali is slick as snot too. So when I started thinking about my shave this evening, Colloniali was one of the first soaps I thought about. And I'm glad that I picked it tonight, because it's absolutely lovely. If you're looking for a nice brush that's not very expensive, particularly if you're looking for synthetics, for like 22 to 25 bucks, you can get a really nice 24mm knot, synthetic, in a good handle for that price from Anthony MacKenzie Jr. And they're wonderful. I resisted. Man, love that. I resisted synthetics for a long time. I can tell you now that I'll be getting at least another brush from Anthony. I'll probably try his Sunrise knot. The one that I got from him, synthetic, is what he calls his light knot. It looks more like a silver tip fiber type deal. Lovely brush. But he has the brown top kind of looking, Plisson looking knot. And I was talking to my mentor about synthetic knots, and he said those type of knots is what he prefers. So we're going to see. I'm going to get one of those and give that a shot, because there's not ever been anything that he's ever said to me shaving wise that hasn't been pretty much dead on. Now, I don't know. I don't believe that Anthony's knots are actually Plisson fiber. But, matter of fact, I talked to him a bit about it. And he said that his knots have a bit more backbone than the Plisson or the Uber Soft, I think. I could be wrong including that, but I know he was talking about the Plisson. But you have to remember it's also a 24 millimeter knot. So that is going to make a difference, I think, in backbone as well. But the one synthetic that I have from him is so absolutely soft. It's softer than any other brush I've ever used. Badger, you name it, well broken in, bore, don't make any difference. It's the softest brush I've ever used. Now that I've got one, you know me, can't just do one. So I'm going to add another to it. I'm just waiting for him to get in. Some more of the kind of modern looking handle. That's what I would call a modern kind of look to that handle. And something in a different color that's not white and pink. He's got a pink and white swirly one that's really cool, but I don't do pink. So looking for something similar to that, or you know what, anything could take my fancy, but he's got more handles coming in. So when he gets the newer handles in, I'm going to ask him to shoot me some pics of what he's got, and pick one, put a Sunrise knot in it. For the price, I think they're really hard to beat, especially someone like Anthony. You know, you can buy like a factory made synthetic pretty cheap now, you know. But working with Anthony and kind of having a personal touch, is something that I really like. And you guys know me, I'm not one of these guys, and there's nothing wrong with this, by the way. Christopher David Bailey does it, and he chose it, and he made an excellent choice when he did. And so, you know, but I'm not one of these guys that goes, well, I only do artisan stuff, and, you know, I like factory stuff as well, but I really do like the personal touch, you know, wonderfully smooth. Dealing with Anthony, and so I'll probably keep dealing with him, you know, for synthetic brushes and stuff like that. Florida water, gents. Because of that. Now I put quite a bit of menthol crystals, a boatload of them, in this Florida water. So, but if it matters to you. But anyway, wonderful shave. Hold on one second. Alright. One moment, please. Lovely, lovely brush. It blooms wonderfully well when you get it wet. It's just a beautiful, beautiful brush. Excellent job. He put weight in it. It's got a good weight to it. All right, gentlemen. That's been the shave. Bless you. Thanks for joining me and being part of my channel. And I will see you later.